calling this video for close trade Wednesday 5th of June 2013. There we go, we got the break of 1620. Hope everybody kind of jumped on board. Wasn't the easiest kind of break to trade. It was kind of stop and start, nothing on the way down. It was kind of stop and start as well. So we're here at 1607.75. It's closed, 2.3 million contracts traded. We're itching towards closing this gap here. So this is going to be in the 1590s to 1600. Don't think this is done on the downside yet. Let me just roll through the charts just quickly. Here's why. So I'm saying we're heading towards this cyclical support on the daily chart, which will be a pullback in an uptrend. So we need that to kind of cross. We also need price confirmation, and it would be nice if we got an end of trend signal on the 45-minute chart. So lowest time frame, trend move here, syncing up with a cyclical pattern on the highest time frame. And you know, so far on the 45-minute chart, it's been kind of looking like a complex correction where we get, you know, batting backwards and forwards between support resistance. We've not had exhaustion selling on the downside, and we've not had a break into a trend move. So we're sitting on this ledge. Maybe we'll get it tomorrow with a pullback to end of trend. We'll see. But this same pattern is kind of repeated in all the daily indices charts. So here's the Dow looking for this pullback support level on the daily chart here. Here's the S&P 500, not surprisingly close, close to the Emini chart. We've got the Nasdaq, same thing, a little bit further away here. You know, here's kind of gap and resistance becomes support type area, kind of down here in the Nasdaq. Russell, we don't have, remember, volume data here, but we're still heading towards a cyclical support area here. So that's what I'm waiting for. So I still think we're going to get some travel to the downside, but the break was what was important last night. Emini versus bonds. So here we go. Good day in bonds. Equities sold off, and so we're coming back down to kind of parity, kind of balance between the two. Here with the bond equities oscillator. So the bonds have really sold off hard, but now we're getting a little bit of travel. So this might go further than people expect. Everybody, on the equities side, everybody's kind of been looking at all the corrections that we've had to date have been really, pretty minor affairs, and we've just kind of got our house in order and continued on to new highs. This could surprise people. The strength of this, once it, people start kind of bailing, could surprise people. When you look at what's happening in the Nikkei in Japan, that thing was up 85% or something like that in 6 months, and then all of a sudden, when people started taking profits, they got on board that bandwagon really quickly, and it kind of creates its own momentum, just snowballs a little bit. So we'll see if we get that kind of effect here. What I have not seen yet, though, is exhaustion selling on the downside to end this thing. So yesterday this was kind of the signal, pullback to end of trend, but we don't have blue professional bars in down at the lows. We don't have exhaustion selling or bullish divergence kind of in yet. We got the break of this kind of level here, and we need something to mirror the exhaustion buying that we had, that set this thing off. Not seen it yet. This was in the 80,000 type region. Today's activity, it was kind of consistent selling, but it was kind of choppy on the way down. We've not had that kind of good old-fashioned, really exhaustion selling signal on the way down. Now, while I'm on this chart, just to so I had a good day's trading Monday, so I didn't trade Tuesday. Sometimes I kind of trip myself up after a good day, so decided not to trade Tuesday. So I didn't put out a video on Tuesday, but when I saw this pattern, I did want to put something out, so I put it out on Google+. In retrospect, I got up this morning thinking, why didn't I tweet about this? But anyway, so I don't know what you think about social networks. It's not particularly the Emini-Watch crowds kind of thing, but I must admit the interface on Google Plus is really slick. It's very nice and so easy to put anything kind of up. So this was what I was saying. This is 2 or 3 hours before the Open, the European Open. The timing, I think they just give me that in my local time. Yeah, that would have been 3 p.m. Sydney time that this went up. So Emini sitting on the 1620 ledge, and there we go. That was the 40,500 tip bar chart, and there we are at the ledge, just waiting for that drop. So I don't know, if you're kind of curious to look at Google Plus and have not checked it out, I'd go have a look at it. It's kind of fun. Again, as I said, I'm not sure about social networks. I'm kind of doing a little bit more on Google Plus just because it's easy, and Facebook's not my thing, to be honest. Sometimes if I see some good articles during the day, I'll put something out, but I maximum put one thing out a day. Anyway, let's get on to the rest of the charts. So there's the 40,500 tip bar chart. We've not seen that exhaustion selling on the downside, so we're potentially into another trend break with through support here. So let's see. It could travel further than people think. Now, 1500 tip bar chart. This is why the break was tricky to trade. So my first jump at this was a couple of hours before the European Open. I was short at 27 on the break of this support. We had broken a support on 4500 tip bar chart, 1500, and it was kind of messing around a kind of a breaker on the 500 tip bar chart. So I got short 27 and felt really good about myself, as this thing kind of rocketed down. But then it held. This was before the European Open, came back up, and I got out with a 1.5 point loss. And then, of course, it just went the other, continued on down. Blue professional up bars here. But then I was thinking, well, let me just wait till the European Open. And then we're kind of down at these lows, coming up to another cyclical support area. I suppose there wasn't a lot of selling kind of going on here. I tried again at 23.25, but then got out with just a half-point loss here. So I tried to get into this a couple of times. And then we had the Open that came along, and it was really choppy and bouncy. Took a long trade, got 1.25 out of that. Took a short trade, lost 1 on that. And then finally, this thing did the right thing. We'd had exhaustion buying, bearish divergence, and that was almost a flush pattern, but it was another bearish divergence here. Rambo patterns into blue professional bars could not get through this 28 level here, and that was the first sign of weakness here as we break support. It was interesting, we didn't have very many blue professional bars on the 1500 at all. This was the first one after the Open, so as soon as we broke the lows of that was kind of a good signal. And then I was into a break here of this blue professional bar. We kind of tested back up, bang, hit the blue professional, break of the low, the blue professional bar, so short at 25.5. And then we had this move back. The market's always going to surprise you a little bit. It's going to try and freak you out, so you got to be ready for these things. Got close to my stop, did not get taken out, luckily. And what I was seeing on the 500 tip bar chart was this. So I was getting in on a break of blue professional bars kind of down here. We had this Rambo pattern. We just bounced off that. Break to new highs, take out a few people at stops and so on. But talk about this as being unstable. Exhaustion buying and a Rambo pattern together like that's just showing that's an extreme amount of buying, and it's amateur stuff. They're buying a breakout to new highs, expecting continuation or a break to new highs and continuation of that break. No, exhaustion buying, blue professional bars kind of come in, they sell it down. We have another little test back up with an amateur up bar here, and then bang, we break support and we're into downtrend here. So all of a sudden the amateurs are kind of getting wrong-footed. Again, they've been buying this breakout. They're kind of having to get out of their positions and so on. So it was hairy, but then as soon as we headed to the lows of the day, bang, we were getting this thing going, and it was breaking really hard. So got 6 points out of that trade, out at 19.5. Got out at pro signal exit here, so blue professional bars coming in with exhaustion selling, and then it was a messy little retrace. I took 2 trades after this, along and a short. I got a little bit more out of those, but then it just continued down. But it was choppy. It was choppy all the way. I went to my bed, I think, around this kind of time, because it was about 1:15 or something like that here in Sydney. But I think it was kind of choppy on the way down. It wasn't kind of a pretty day's trading. But as I say, we've not seen this exhaustion selling kind of on the way down, and could surprise to the downside. Could gather a little bit of snowball a little bit on the downside. So there we go. Hope your trade did well. Now, just an FYI, I'm having laser surgery on my eyes today, and so I'll probably be blind for a couple of days and not be able to trade. So everybody tells me the best thing they ever did. I hope it's the best thing for me. I don't like hospitals and surgery and stuff, but anyway, these things have to be done. So yeah, not going to be you're not going to see much from me from Emini-Watch on Thursday and Friday, but I'll be curious to see how this kind of move kind of ends up. Anyway, I hope you did pick up something out of this, and hope your trading's going well. Short 25.50, short 25.50. Let's try this again. Just got kind of pushed out after the what do we have? Factory orders ISM came out.
Blue professional bar 1500 is only the second we've had today, breaking the lows of that. This push up was a Rambo patterns, amateur bars, couldn't get through resistance. We've already broken resistance here, so come on, through 24s and we're away. We could easily slice through 20s. We have just been waiting and waiting. We've been consolidating here, but the last blue professional bars have been at the top of the ranges. So we've had this little exhaustion pattern. Come on, come back. So short 25.50. Alright, taking a super amount of heat on this, but just broke the previous highs. Rambo pattern with exhaustion, that's unstable. We had it here, I thought we were gonna just keep going down through support, didn't, so we come back up, more Rambo patterns. It's very weak buying. I just need this to roll over now, not to come back. Just get back down to the bottom of the range. We've bust some stops, so they'd be happy that they've done that. But now come back down. Right, here we go. So support's coming on the 500. Break through that. Here we go. Back of the money into a downtrend on 500 tip bar chart. We've got this going in the right direction. So come on. No blue professional bars. Unbelievable how few they've been today. So come on, we should be on our way to 20. And as soon as we get to there, it's gonna get bigger. Target's 21.50 at the moment. I'll move that out. Here we go. Just move the target out to 15.50, so it's just well out of the way. We're well through support here on 500. Blue professional bars here, kind of on the retrace anyway. Now, so we're playing around support here, support here. Here we go. Just gone very quiet. I think we're just waiting for that final push down. So low overnight down here was 21.75 and the low yesterday was 21.50. So because we bounced off there, we're coming back down to that level. And here we go. When we touch it, we'll probably get a little bounce, but then when we go through it, it's gonna get interesting. Come on. No blue professional bar yet on 15. Jumpy here. Gotta make pullback to under trend at least on 500. Come on. Come on. Alright, here we go. We had a little bit of support come in here with the blue professional bar and jumped, but we're back down. We've not made a cross yet. Here we go. So 21.50, which is the original target. Blue professional bar through support. It's kind of a bigger reading on momentum on the way down. Just Rambo pattern through support here. Yeah, might find a bullish divergence, but we're through. Here we go. 21, 20s. Here we go. Come on, minus 10,000. So what am I looking for? Where's the next stop down? Who knows? Yes, we're into uncharted territory. We've not seen this in a while. Let's just wait and see. Okay, it bounced. Minus 11,000, bigger reading. So we still got to see pullback to under trend on 500. Just moved my target to 1750, and the reason for doing that, we just had big readings, pro signal exits, bot signal I think it's just gone off, and we still got to see pullback to end of trend. Blue professional bars here and here. Let's see if we get another kind of push down. There's another bot signal. So, yep, so I'm looking for 17.5. We're on the way to making pullback to end of trend. Blue professional down bar. Conscious we've got a bot signal gone off, but so So it's not just going to stop dead in its tracks, is it? So it's dirty end of trend just gone off. 19.5. 4, 6. And the reason for getting out, dirty end of trend here, and a bot signal went off. So I'm just really wary of that. So looks like it's continuing down. That's fine. Well, we got the break through 20, and we've got all these exhaustion signals. Those bullish divergence just gone off. Anyway, that's probably me done. It's just midnight 20 here, and I got the break, got the move. So lost 2 points before the open, trying to get onto this short trade twice, and I was up a quarter point after 2 trades before that one. So what am I up? So 6 1/4, 4 1/4 after 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. Yeah, fair enough.